Yo, what's going on, everybody? The Queen update is just around the corner, so I thought we'd go over a few things that's a must know to give you guys a jump start on this. Let's get right into it, boys. Alright guys, so we're going to kick it off with the food first. The first one's going to be the beef stew, the new Avalonian beef stew. Now this one, not only does it increase your damage like the normal beef stew does, but it also gives you a health regeneration outside of combat. So instead of having to use like catfish or like cabbage soup, and then switching to a damage food when you're in the fight, like in solo dungeons, you have one food that does everything for you. This is a great change. The next one is the new Avalonian pork omelet. This one's going to be so good for healers and casters, especially in ZVZs. So what it does is improves your casting speed on top of giving you cooldown reduction and increases your defensives. This is just an all-around perfect food for almost any situation, especially if you're a caster. Now the next one is going to be the new Avalonian beef sandwich. Now this one I know is intended for like tanks and stuff like that, because what it does is it gives you maximum health, and on top of that increases your CC by 18.9%. That's a lot, but you can take this and use it for ganking. So any weapon that you have for ganking that's going to be able to use any kind of CC or catch, you can use it for any of those types of things. So this is going to be good for not just tanks but also gankers. Okay, we're going to start off with cloth first. So the first is going to be on your cloth helmet, going to be the Avalonian beam. Now this one's going to be a pretty interesting one because it shoots a beam out in front of you, dealing damage and interrupting casting. So this can be used in a ZVZ or a GVG to get out there and interrupt casting and stuff like that. This will be really fun to see how this plays out. Now the next one's going to be your new cloth chest ability. So this right here is going to put a shield around you for 7 seconds, and any enemy that comes to you, you just knock them back 12 meters, and they also receive damage for the duration. And you're also immune to force feedback like wind walls and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome, as you saw early in the first clip, to be able to keep yourself as a caster, to put this wall around you and to keep people away from you as you can free cast. Okay, the next ability is called Hover. It's on your boots. It's going to give you a increased movement speed by 50% and grant you immunity to slows and roots for 6 seconds. Now this is a channeled, so you kind of just like hover over the ground. This is going to be my absolute go-to for ZVZs from now on, unless it gets nerfed or something like that. Okay, now moving on to leather. On your headpiece, you have an ability called Nasty Wounds, and it makes a swirl of energy around you, and it's going to deal damage to all the enemies. But every enemy that gets hit by it at least once, they have 50% less healing. So this will be really good for like clappers and stuff to go into the back line of like ZVZs or any kind of fights like that. So this will be really fun for PvP to be able to control the healing output. So the next ability on your chest is called Dynamic Defense, and basically if you are going to get somebody that is magic, it gives you magic resist. If you're going to get somebody that's physical, it gives you physical resist, and also gives you some damage on top of that. It's not as crazy as it sounds. So on your boots, you have an ability called Blind Spot. Now this allows you to go invisible and give you 20% movement speed. So this is going to be really good to be able to reset the fight if you're getting jumped on in solo dungeons, and it also gives you a really big bonus damage when you come out of that invisibility. Now starting off on plate, we have the chest. We have a channeled ability that put a wall in front of you, and it shoots a projectile back to the enemy when they damage you and gives them a healing debuff. So that's pretty awesome. You can go around in ZVZs and give people healing debuffs. Moving on to the helmet, it's called Purifying Smoke. It's literally just a cleanse. You throw down a puff of smoke and you cleanse debuffs and moving and parrying, stuff like that. So the boots are pretty cool because you get a 20% movement speed and you gain immunity against force feedback stuff. But if you get stunned during this 2 seconds, the CC is cleansed and you get 120% movement speed for 4 seconds. That's pretty rad. And as you can see here, I'm showcasing off the armors. So we're going to start with the plate just so you can give an idea of what it looks like, and then we're going to move on to the cloth, and then we're going to move on to the leather so you can kind of get an idea of what they're going to look like as far as them being together. So as you can see, we're looking at the new Outlands map here, and as you can see just right off the bat, they changed the aesthetics of it. It has a lot more like intricate things. When you zoom in, you can see more features. It's pretty cool, and I also like how they split the portals and then kept them together, like the way they're surrounded by the map. So instead of having like a portal over here and a portal way over there, you have all the portals together, and you're gonna have portals in like the south, east, and west and stuff like that. And I think that's really good because it allows you to be able to only have certain areas to come out, which is gonna be really good for the game. And then also around the map, you're gonna have these things, they're called rests. Like you have Morgana's Rest, Merlin's Rest, Arthur's Rest. These are little bitty like outposts, I guess you would say, but they're neutral. So anybody can go inside these outposts. and I'll give you a look into these outposts real fast. So when you enter these outposts, you're gonna have everything a major city is gonna have. You're gonna have an auction house just for that outpost. You're gonna have, so the prices are gonna be crazy in these places. You're gonna have a chest in the middle, put all your loot. You're gonna also have a spot over here to be able to repair, and then you have a couple exits. Now the cool thing about this outpost is they have this little portal like shrine right here, and you click on that shrine and it gives you invisibility. So what that does is you're invisible, so nobody can see which way you go out. So like you can be standing over here and take this one, but then you can go out the northeast side or the northwest side. So nobody really knows which way you're going out. So I think that's a really cool thing that they added to allow players to be able to leave these outposts without having to be spotted. Like, oh, he's going south. Like if you track somebody in here, be like, oh, he's going out this way, because you can see that. So this is a pretty cool idea, and I'm glad they did that to make it balanced for everybody. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the way the new portal system works. It's not like how it is now where you can just go over this area and there's a portal and you can leave. So you go through the Conqueror's Hall in every city, it's something like this. Then you go straight down the middle. And when you get straight down the middle, that's where the portal is going to be for whatever city you're in. So if you're in the, like here in Limehurst, this is the portal outside of Limehurst, and so on through the Royals. Now, the big change is Carleon doesn't have a portal to the Outlands anymore. That's it, no more. So basically, Carleon is the hub for the Royals. So they split the Royals and the Outlands, I guess you would say. So that's pretty cool. But here's a way to get to the Outlands, but you can go through these portals as far as in the cities. But they're also in the Conqueror's Hall now. So you have to make sure you remember that. Instead of being like, oh crap, where's my portal? There it is for you boys. Okay, so another new feature they added to the game, they changed the UI settings a bit, and also now you can see you can change your mouse. So you have the gold, you have the standard, and then you have the gold, and then you have the blue, which I've been asking for this for so long. Once they made it to where you couldn't use YOLO mouse anymore, I was like, you need to give us a mouse option. And so I'm glad they did this, and the UI is a little different as far as like in the settings, but this is such a welcome change, and I had to bring it up so you guys could be excited about that new mouse life. Last thing I'm going to go over very briefly is going to be the new outposts as far as like, players be able to put them out in the world. We're going to go over this very briefly. So you can see here on the map, you can see where it's at. You can hover over to see who it is, what level it is, and all this kind of defenses it has and stuff like that. I'm going to do a whole separate video on this. I just want to let you know that these is what they are when you see them on the map. Alrighty boys, thank you so much for watching the video. Like I said, if you have any questions or anything like that, throw them down in the comments below or hit me up on my Discord. My official stream day back is when Queen launches, so I can't wait to see you guys out there. We're going back full swing. Alright boys, love y'all so much. Peace.